She hit me with the Jackie Chan. Sweet, sweet, swash, swash. I hit her with the yes, I can.
What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the second channel. Now, you already know what the video is about. This is the 100 subscriber special. And I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to the second channel. I had this channel up for around 4 years, almost close to 5. And I made this channel just for like extra stuff that I wouldn't think I would put on my main channel, such as vlogs, storytime videos, reaction videos, and just some extra stuff. And now I know it was only at 100 subscribers, and the other channel is around 5.6k subs. I still want to do some good amount of content on this channel and continue doing what I've been doing with this channel. So thank you all for 100 subscribers just to start it off. But now, since it's the 100 subscriber special, like I said, I'm going to give you a story time video, like a very personal story time video. And from the title of this video, you already know what this is about. I am going to be giving you the story about my ex-girlfriend. Now, why would I want to make a video about my ex-girlfriend? We're not together anymore. We don't talk. The reason I'm just doing this because I just want to give my story about my relationship, how the road went from like nice and smooth to like bumpy to back to smooth again to potholes, detour, and all that stuff. But not only that, there are people I know who think this girl is nice, this girl is this is that. Now, in their point of view, yeah, but I want to put the truth out there for things that you don't know about her. And not only that, I want to teach you guys lessons when it comes to relationships, so you guys don't make the same mistakes that I have. But yes, this is the story of my ex-girlfriend. Without further ado, let's get into this. Now, to start this whole thing, we go all the way to December 31st, 2012. Now, I remember this day perfectly. This was around 5 to 6 in the evening. I was with 3 of my cousins and my uncle, but I was older than my uncle. Let's just call them Mickey, Marcus, James, and LeBron. And LeBron would be like my uncle. I was older than him at the time, but he's no longer with us. May his soul rest in peace. Now, we decided we were walking down this road. This road was just new at the time. So as we were walking down and we were about to reach home, I got a call saying that my cousins Marcus and Mickey, their mom gave birth to a new baby boy, which was exciting. It was exciting news. I was crazy that he was born on the last day of the year. So yeah, we were all gassed, we were all excited. I was congratulating them, having a new addition to their family. And at the same time, during that phone call, I was told that I would need to go to someone's house and just collect some items. So as we were coming back home, the rest of them went, and I walked to their house. Now their house is in the same estate as ours in Gazana, but it was in different lanes. So at that house, at the time, I've only known two people. I've only known her father and one of her younger brothers. That was at the time. I didn't know anyone else back then. And not only that, my house, one day I didn't indicate Maku was not great. It was not great. So it would have been hard for me to communicate. I only knew the basics of it. So like the little I knew would be enough. So as I went came close to the house, I opened the gate, I went past it, I went to the front door, and that was when I I saw their dad. And my dad and their dad was asking, who am I? What have I come for? And all that sort. Now I was trying to do this in Hausa, and it wasn't great because he always asked what, and I don't understand what you're talking about. All that sort. And then out she came wearing a nice dress, and I saw that dress. It was very similar to one of my younger cousins that lived in the same estate as I do. So then she told her dad that I was sent all the way from my home to come and collect some items. And then her dad said, "Oh, that's okay. You should have told me that earlier." But because I didn't understand Hausa so much by then, he just carried on and moved with his business. So I just said, "Hey, th- thanks for covering me there." And she was like, "Hey, it's no problem. Try to help." So I asked her, "What's her name?" And her name was Jamila. This is going to be her name for this entire story. I'm not going to give out her original name just so that none of you go and do research and find out who this girl is. I'm covering her name to protect her identity and everyone else that's gonna have their identity covered. So anyways, she told me that I should need to sit in the living room. I said, okay, cool. So I went to the living room, I sat down, and I was told like to wait for their mother to come out. So I just stood there watching the television for about a good 10 minutes. And then their mother came out. I was given the item, and I was told to make sure that they all counts up to the right number that they asked for. And I said, yeah, that's cool. And I picked her, I walked out. I looked back at Jimmy and I said, it was nice seeing you. And I left her. And that was the first time we met. Okay, July 2013. At this time, me and my family came back to Ireland just so that my younger brother would have been born. And at this time, we were living in Nigeria. We were living in Nigeria, and we just came here just so that our younger brother would be would be born. Now, while we were still there, before we left, I decided to go to the shop, and I decided to get Jamila something. I don't know. I was just being friendly, and I was just being the nice person that I am. So I just saw this set that had a necklace and a ring. So I thought, I'd, she'll like this. She'll probably like this. She'll probably like this. So, she'll probably like this. She'll probably like this. So, 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 I bought that. I kept it with me for the longest period of time up until we came back to Nigeria, landed in Abuja, and traveled 6 hours back to Katsina. Now, during that month, one of the days when I went back to the house just to see her again, I saw she was there with her young sister Hassana, which she's going to be called for this story. So I sat down, I talked to them about about my younger brother, which they were enjoying the story, and it was it was a great time. I was like getting to know her really well. It was like we were bonding. Like I said, we were just this is when we were going to become good friends. And before I left, I told her that I got her something while I was here in Ireland. I gave her the set, and she was like, "Wow, it's amazing. Thank you so much." I said, "Hey, you're welcome. It's always a pleasure." And I left the house. I just carried on my day ever since then. May 31st, 2014. I remember this day perfectly. During this day, me and my uncle and two other people, we went to this town called Mashi. And fun fact, Mashi is the town that Jamila's father, uncles, and aunties are all from. Now, we went there for a wedding. Now, this was someone else's wedding. Still can't remember. I can't remember whose wedding it was, but it doesn't have anything to do with the story. I remember that day we went to Mashi, attended the wedding. It was a good way. It was a good day. We came back, and I was at home. Now I was at home. Then I remember Suleiman. We were gonna call this person Suleiman. He came into the room and told me that remember that girl Jamila that you talked to. I said, yeah, I remember. What's the problem? He told me that she was getting her appendix removed. I said, oh, is she okay? He said, yeah, it's no, yeah. I told her it would be no problem. And Suleiman wanted me to go and visit her in the hospital. So at the time, I was thinking, ah, I'm not so sure. I'm probably sure like her whole family is there, so I think it's all fine. But he insisted that I should come, and I said, oh, okay, I will come over. We got into Suleiman's car. We were on our way to the hospital, and before we got there, we stopped by a shop, and I remember Suleiman asked for two Devita drinks. That's Chivita, and 2 packs of biscuits. Okay, now, as I was saying, now after Suleiman bought those 2 drinks and biscuits, he gave the bag to me. I asked him, okay, where do you want to take them? And he told me, no, I'm giving them to you. You're going to go and give it to Jamila. I'm like, oh, me, I'm going to give it to her. And then he said, yeah, of course. Is there a problem with that? I said, no problem with that. It's cool. So we continued driving on, and we got to the hospital. So as we walked in, he said, "You take right, I take left." Wait, it was actually vice versa. So I went left, he went right. He told me room number 2. I was like, all right, cool. So as I was walking towards her room, number 2, so like there was a window there beside the door. I decided to like take a peek before I went in. So like at the time, I was like, I was feeling kind of shy. I was feeling a bit nervous. It's like I wasn't confident of going just yet. So I just stood outside the door, just collected myself, just make sure I was in my element. I was like, okay, okay, I got this, I got this. I'm gonna just walk in. I'm gonna just be like, yeah, 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 and boom, everything's gonna be done with. Now, remember, at this point, we were still good friends. We're still good friends at this point in time. Nothing was going on yet. So once I was calm and collected, I knocked on the door. I came in. I said, "Assalamu alaikum." Everyone said, "Alaikum salam." So her family were just was just there beside her. They were just sitting on a mat on the floor. There was their mom, sister, younger brothers, sister, the whole bunch of them. Almost all of them, not all of them, but most of them. Anyways, I went in. I said, "How's everyone doing? I hope the patient's getting better." I heard the news about her, so I was concerned. So I came in and brought these as a get well soon gift. So the mom was pleased, and she was like, "There's a chair over there. You can just go towards her and just talk to her." She was good. Now, yeah, I took the chair. I went close to her bed, and she was laying down on the bed, and I just said, "Hey, how you feeling?" And she was like, "Oh, she's recovering." I said, "Hey, I'll be get better soon." So I was talking to her. I was like, "Yo, so like, what's wrong with you? What did they do to you?" And then she told me that she was getting her appendix removed. I was like, "Oh, okay. Was it hurtful? Was it painful?" And it's like she said she was awake the whole time while they were doing it. I was like, "Are you sure that's okay? You sure that's okay? I know you're supposed to be asleep. They're supposed to give you like a sleeping gas, and you'll be asleep through the whole operation." She's like, "Nah, she was awake. She was 100% conscious. She heard things. She saw things, the whole lot of it." I said, "Oh, that's a bit rough." But as long as you get better, that's just the main concern. So I told her, "Oh, here's here's my bag. Here's this bag I got you." So I was saying I gave her the bag, and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much. That's really nice of you. Everything will be put in the fridge." I said, "Except for the biscuits, of course." And then I was just looking, just like the clothes I was wearing, and I looked inside the front pocket. I remember, and I saw a ring inside. I remember, oh, that was the ring I bought her last year, in 2013. So when I bought her the necklace and the rings, there was 2 rings, but I just gave the one necklace and the one ring. I completely forgot that that ring was in my pocket, so I just brought it out. She saw the ring, and then she was like, "Oh, you got me another ring. You really didn't have to." And then at that moment, like just something, I started feeling different around that moment. So this just it came out of the blue, and I didn't plan it. I didn't go to the hospital and say, "Okay, I'm gonna ask her this question." It just came out randomly, and I brought it towards her forward. I asked her, "Do you want us to be together?" I kid you not, that was the question I asked her. Now, this is what could have happened. She could have rejected me on the spot, and I would just moved on with my life. She could have tried to she could have tried to embarrass me for even asking her that question. But considering she was in a hospital bed, that wasn't gonna happen. What happened instead was she had a huge smile on her face, and she said yes, she loved to. And I just felt, whoa,
I'm probably the luckiest person on this planet right now. Because the thing about her at the time was she appreciated me for me. Like she didn't care that how my like I wasn't from like a rich family or we're like up there in status politically. You know that sort. I'm not gonna get into that. But she cared for like who I was and how I treated people and how kind of a heart I had. I felt great that day. That's where it all started. And I know the next few days were not part of 31st of May, but like this was just like a few days after. I was going. I was always going to school. I was in SS1 at the time, so that's like your fourth year. That would be like where TY is, transition year in Ireland. That would have been your year 10. Actually, I think that would be your year 10. Yeah, year 10 in the UK, and then you have your 10th grade in the United States. But anyways, after I finished school, some days, unless the driver was late to pick me up, I just walked to the hospital. M- Most days I had the opportunity to. I always go to her room. I always check she was there. I always checked up on her, and I felt good about it. And she was glad I came to see how she was feeling. It was it was pretty emotional, but that's where it all started. September 2014. Now, before I talk about that month, I want to point out the way we communicated. She didn't have a phone at the time. So, before I get to what I'm going to say, I remember on Eid Day, Eid al Kabir, I was at home. I wrote a whole letter to her. I wrote a whole letter to her with paper and pen, front and back of the page. Just let her know what's up. So when I pulled her to the house, I knew like I knew no one was going to be there because they all went to town just to celebrate. So I gave it to the security guard who was staying at the house. So I just said, "Hey, could you give this envelope to the girl called Jamila that lives in the house?" And he said, "Yeah, he can do that for me." Cool. And then other times I would just come to the house and visit. I would just we just have a conversation, just talk about things. But now this month of 2014, yeah, the month September, in 2014, this was when I was leaving Nigeria. Now at the time I was living in Nigeria, but this was the month when I left Nigeria to come back here in Ireland. Now, this wasn't like me moving to Ireland for the first time. This was me coming back to Ireland because I was born in Calvin and I lived most of my life in Ireland up until 2010 when we went and moved to Nigeria for years and then came back here. But now back to the story. Now, the day I went to see her, I told her, so this is what's happening. I need to tell you this. So we're moving. So it means I'm not going to be in the country anymore, which is going to be sad because I'm gonna miss you a lot. And then she told me that she was going to miss me too. But I told her, I know you don't have a phone, but one thing you can do is maybe if you could give me if you could give me your mom's number, and anytime I call, we can just talk through your mom's phone up until you get your own phone. And she's like, okay, that can work. So she got me her mom's number. I saved it on the phone. And then this was where the long distance relationship began. We were we were already in a relationship. We were already like 3-4 months into the relationship, But this is when the long distance began. Because I'm in Ireland, she's in Nigeria. Two different continents, thousands of miles apart. So it was going to be tough. But I was determined to make sure it worked for the both of us.
The whole of 2015. Now, we never went to Nigeria because there was no plans of us going there. I did have a return ticket to go to Nigeria, but it got cancelled and they tried to refund it. And unfortunately for them, they never got refunded. So, one way we try to keep our long distance relationship as long as possible is that we always communicate with each other every day. That's what we've been doing throughout the whole of that 2015, including that late part of 2014. But I wanted to look at this part importantly because during this time, this was when I always took my home telephone and I always tried to call a number through there. I did that almost every day, and I always get told off that calling a foreign number takes away more of the credit and all that sorts. But I wanted, I tried to always communicate with Jamila every day just to make sure she's doing well, she's okay, and I always want her to know that I'm doing well myself as well. Now you might be wondering why never did I do that with my phone, because my phone got unfairly confiscated for the whole of my fifth year, which is like SS2, your year 11s. You get that sort. It was unfairly confiscated, but that's not the point. One thing I do remember was that I asked her. I never knew when your birthday was, so when your birthday comes, I'd like to wish you like happy birthday and all that sort. So I asked her, when was your birthday? And she told me that her birthday was on the 20th of July. Now, I want you to remember this day, 20th of July, because that is a lie. Her birthday was not on the 20th of July, but because I didn't know at the time, I thought that's what it was, so I rolled with it. And throughout that 2015 year, even though we haven't seen each other for a long time, we always kept on communicating. And that was the important thing about a relationship, that you're always communicating, you're reaching each other. So I would say that year was pretty well, in my opinion. July 2016. This is when I finally met her after not seeing each other for almost 2 years. Now, this was during summer vacation, summer holidays. And I remember before we got there, I was silent. I was incognito. I logged out of all social medias because I wanted to focus mainly on my secondary school. That was my final year in secondary school, so I wanted to make sure I did well. I got good grades, so I'd be able to go to college. But anyways, I come back, and once we reach our hometown, Katsina, I waited for like the right moment to like come to her house, and then the moment I see her, it's like I felt really glad again. I felt very glad because I've only been talking to her through phone calls and texts, and not to mention I did leave that period of time where I wasn't doing anything, no social media, none of that. It was a relief to finally see her again. And I remember during my summer holidays, I came I always come to her house every other day to make sure she was there. Not only that, I was also interacting with everyone else in the family. And it felt like everything was going well. This this is just one of the reasons why I said 2016 was one of the best years for me in the 2010 decade, because I felt positive. I felt great. Everything just worked well for me during that year. And not only that,
The one thing I'd never done before is to have like very deep, personal, and private conversations with her and telling me about her ex, told her about my ex, how life was for us before we met and whatnot. And it was very close to me. It was very close because I've never been into something so deep and personal like that before, except for that day. And not only that, she always defended me, which was something I appreciated for her the most at that time. She was there for me, she defended me. Even her younger sister, which I haven't given her a name, let's call her Saidia. Yes, let's call her Saidia if I haven't given anyone the name Saidia, because I'm trying to remember. I'm recording this within a period of days. So I've recorded one part today, one part a few days ago. So I think I might have to look back at it. But Saidia was Jamila's younger sister. And to be honest, she hated me. Like, she never liked me. I didn't like her because she didn't like me. That was my only reason of not liking her. So I remember one day that I came to visit them, and then she was just looking at me. She was trying to be this so trying to insult me, trying to belittle me. So I'm just replying to say, well, why are you trying to belittle me? Like, what are you doing? And then she would just come out of nowhere. I just get the belt. I just be like, yo, you don't talk to my boyfriend like that. You don't talk to my boyfriend like that. I was like, you go, girl. That's what I like to see. But hey, during this time, it was great. But unfortunately, we had to cut the holiday short because I had to come back to Ireland early just so I can get my final school results and see if I was going to get to college or not, which I did well and I got to college. That is the important thing. But I remember of that year, July 2016, it was great. Absolutely great, man. Excellent. And I just felt like if we can do well, like in that space of time, we can go far. We can go beyond. October 2016, this was when I started to have a bit of suspicions from her. This is when she started like acting differently from our conversations on WhatsApp and through phone calls. Now, this all started when she sent me she sent me her I think she sent me like her registration code. She gave it to me and asked me to go onto the Jambo website and find out her results from her exams that happened back in, I think it was like April, May, or June of 2016. So I did so. Found out that she did quite well. And then I sent it back to her. I told her, yo, you did well in your exams. Into which she was glad. Few weeks later, she tells me that she got admission into Bayero University, Kano, which, if you don't know, which is one of the best universities in Nigeria. Now, I was stoked for her. I congratulated her. I said she's gonna do well when she goes out there. I know it's far from home, but it's not as far as you think it is. I told her, hey, your older sister also goes to the same university. You two will get along well, and yeah, you do absolutely well. I'll just be catching up with her and see how she's getting along with college life. Because this time round was when we started going to college. I started going to college like a month before she did, and I know every time I tried to call her, she always tell me that she's busy studying this, or it's late night, she's feeling tired. I'm like, okay, I get it. Struggles of a college student. I get it. But suspicion kicks in when someone told me, I'm not gonna say whose name it is, I'm not gonna specify what gender, who that person is. But it was just one person that told me, so it was hard to agree with them if they're telling the truth or lying. But that person told me that Jamila wasn't actually going to Bayern University, that it was a lie. But then I said to myself, but she showed me the her letter of admission that she got. Hard to believe that she was lying about it. So it was like, thoughts started going through my head, thinking, is she actually telling me the truth? Is she lying? But I didn't care about it too much because I just thought it was just something that was just told. Didn't hold much weight to it. I let it pass. December 2019. This particular day hit me hard. Like, this wasn't anything I expected that day. Here's how it went down. I'm in college when this happened. I was entering the the lecture hall with my classmates. We were all I was sitting at the same bench as my friends, just in the middle. So I'm just there on WhatsApp. I'm just checking unread messages. So I go and deal with those messages. Now, as I'm scrolling through the messages, I see Jamila's message. And then I saw a profile picture. I saw a picture of another man. I was like, yo, what's going on? So I so I jumped into the text and I asked her, yo, why is there a picture of another man on your WhatsApp? And why do I see pictures of him on your status? What's going on? And the words she told me hit me harder than the Hiroshima bombing in 1940s. She told me that she's getting married. So I just got hit. I went back. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. She just was. I had to read that same message about 10 times because I was refusing to believe that was true. So I wrote to her, it's like, you're not serious about this. Like, this is not true, is it? And then she hits me with, Wallahi, I'm telling you the truth. Now, if someone tells you Wallahi, you know it's not a joke. They are serious, they're telling the truth. And I was like, oh no, you know. I asked her, how is this even happening? I thought you loved me. And then she told me she does love me, but it was her parents that were making her marry this guy. And she said, and you already know I don't want to marry anyone else but you in the future. I was like, I I seriously can't believe this is happening. And then she just sent me crying emojis. So my friends are sitting beside me. They saw me looking, feeling different from usual. And one of them asked me, what's going on? And then I told them that her parents were making her marry someone else. And the moment I uttered those words, I had a complete breakdown in the class. Now this was before the lecture began, so thank goodness for that. I had like a mental breakdown. Like it wasn't serious, but I was so sad and heartbroken because I always had thoughts like I always thought, oh, the moments we do this, we graduate, I go and do this, you go and do that, we meet up again, we get married, start a life together. Seeing all these expectations in my head, all these imaginations and dreams that I thought could happen, shatter into a million pieces. Like that's how it felt. And it weighed heavy in my heart because I felt heartbreaks many times, but these were all heartbreaks for different reasons. Not that this one hit the most. This heartbreak wasn't the one that hit me the most. It just hit me differently than the rest of them. And then one of my friends, the same girl I talked about in a video back in 2018, that she got beaten up and got robbed from her stuff. Stephanie, she said she was sorry that this happened to me. How about she hooked me up with a girl from Puerto Rico? I just said, thanks, but no thanks. So that day, when I came back home and I remembered one of my friends that was staying me in this room, and he used to sleep on this bed. I told him about look what happened to me. I told him what happened. He was shocked. I gave him my phone. He read the text. Now the thing with him, let's call him Ibrahim. That's not his name, but like I said, I'm not releasing anyone's actual names just to make sure their identity is protected and hidden. So now he knows this girl, and I didn't tell him about her. He knew her because he went to the same Arabic school. The Arabic school is in Nigeria, we call it Islamia. That's where he knew about her, and he told me different stories about her. He told me that that girl is cruel. The girl got him in trouble with something he never did. She always tried to control him. I said she was a boss. He told me these stories. I remember it's like, and he even tried to insult her. I said, "Yo, don't insult her, my girlfriend." And then he said, "Okay, because you're with her, I'm not going to say anything." And then he told me, "I don't want to tell you this, but I told you so. I told you that was trouble." But I told him, "Yo, but like she's not the one that chose this. It was her parents that decided to try and get her married." And apparently, the date that she was supposed to get married was December 29th, 2016. Now, remember that December 29th. We'll get back to that date soon in the story. July 2017. Now, before I recorded this, I had to go back and check to make sure everything was on point. But then I realized the relief that I've got to to put in my notes was the one back in early 2017. So I'm going to talk about that part first before I get into the actual month of July. Now, at that point, I was just thinking to myself, okay, I guess I'm single then. It hurt me, but I just tried to just move forward, thinking the wedding's probably happened. She's probably moved into a new home with her husband. But my main focus was on myself. So like, okay, since that's happened, I'm just gonna move on with my life, focus on my college and all that sort. And then I get a text from her, and she starts greeting me, and I reply. Then I asked her, why are you still texting me? Aren't you supposed to be with your newlywed husband? And then she told me that about all that, she didn't get married. The wedding got called off and just said it wasn't gonna happen. In fact, the man went and married someone else. So I felt relieved. I felt like a weight was taken off my heart, off my chest, off my shoulders. I just felt great again. I was like, oh, finally, does it mean that we're getting back together? And she said, yeah, we're getting back together. So that was a huge relief from my shoulders. Huge relief from my shoulders. Now, back to the month of July. I come to Nigeria for summer holidays again. And as usual, I came to her house just to meet her. Just, let's talk about this whole situation. So, like, how did this all pan out? Now, whew, it was a mad one. It was insane. I was telling her how I feel about the whole situation, and she told me fully the whole story of how it happened to her and why it was called how it called off. So we were just having a laugh about it, and we were both relieved that that didn't happen. The relationship carried on going strong, and then I actually decided to ask her dad about this whole situation. It's like, what's he doing? Was she actually going to get married? And then he said, "Oh no, she wasn't going to get married. She's going to continue with her education and get her degree, and then once I'm ready, I'll come and take her." So I felt like positivity came back to me. I was thinking everything is back on track. Thinking everything is back on track. Cruise control, going in the direction we wanted to go. But now, during this year and this month, surprisingly, people I've known in our estate. In fact, this isn't like a few people, like 3, 4 people. This was like more than 10 of them. They were telling me that I shouldn't be in a relationship with her, that she's bad news, that I shouldn't continue to be with her. I asked them why. They give me different reasons. Now, at that time, I didn't believe them, but I just told them if I see her doing any of that, I will remember their conversation. But then But this girl in particular, let's call her Balaraba. Again, not her name. We're gonna call her Balaraba. Now, Balaraba, she's one of those people that told me not to be in a relationship with her. Even though she doesn't communicate with her most of the time. But the reason I say this is funny, I will get back to her point. I will get back to Balaraba's point. Oh boy, isn't this something? August 2017. Now, this month is one of the important months in our relationship. This time specifically, because ever since we've been in a relationship, we've never taken a photo together. We never took a photo together because I remember she always tell me that, oh, she wants us to look perfect for us to have this photo. But I always told her, don't worry, it's okay. I don't mind if you're not looking like a 10 out of 10. Even if you are looking like a 6 out of 10, I'm good with it. I just wanted to have a picture with her so I can just look back and just cherish and appreciate that moment. But she always insisted she wanted to look like a 10 out of 10. She wanted to look perfect for me. She wanted to look great for me. I said, okay then. That's no problem. But in this month, this is when I got the chance twice. Now, first time this happened, I came to her house with my very young brother. You would have seen him probably in a video mine or two on the main channel. And when they saw him, they really liked him. They really liked him. So they were playing some fun games with him. So obviously my reason of coming there was to talk to Jamila. So I said, hey, this is probably a good time to get a picture. Well, I didn't say that. This was a thinking in my head. This is probably a good time to have a picture because I remembered that she saw I had Snapchat on my phone. And she said she didn't have Snapchat. She saw that it was cool. She never had the chance to download it because she didn't have like data on her phone. So she was using my phone to take pictures using filters. And she always asked me, how did you look in the pictures? I said, you look great, you look amazing, and you look wonderful. And which, obviously, I said that, she showed up, always encouraging her, always supporting her. And then she said, how about we take a picture together? And I was like, finally, let's do this. Now, we took a couple of pictures, and I know most of them didn't look great. Either I looked bad and she looked good, or I looked good and she looked bad. But until we found the one picture that we look good, I posted that. I posted that immediately. I posted that picture same day. The same day we took it. I love that picture because it was a moment I waited for so long. Ever since we started being in a relationship, that was the one thing I so much, and I finally got it. Now the second time, we're gonna fast forward to August 2017. No, sorry, within this month, but fast forward to 27th of August 2017. We were getting close to the time when we were about to leave Nigeria and come back to Ireland for college and school. So On 27th of August 2017, Saidia had her birthday. Now, this was her 17th birthday, 17th or 18th birthday, one of the two. Anyway, she was having a party to celebrate her birthday. So then I came in and I just came to tell her that, yo, I was about to leave very soon. So this was the very chance I had in saying goodbye. But then she dragged me over towards a photographer that was there and asked him if he could take a picture of us. And I didn't look great because I didn't know the party was even happening. I was just wearing some jeans and a t-shirt. I didn't have any accessories, but I said, I'll roll with it. So we took the picture, and then she told me that the picture would be ready within a few days, and when she gets it, she'll send it to me on WhatsApp. And I said, I'll be looking forward to seeing that picture. And then I just told her, this is what's happening. I'm going to be going soon. So I just came here to say my goodbyes. And hopefully, once I land, we'll just talk through the phone. Those were the two pictures I got. November 2017 to July 2018. Now, you wouldn't believe this thing actually happened, but yeah, it was just utter silence. So why I say it's utter silence is one day from November, I tried to talk to her. I tried to text her. Like, yo, what's up? How you doing? And she always get the message, but always left me on red. Which this is something I hate a lot. I hate being left on red. Like, if you open my message and you're ready, you might as well just reply. There's no point in just leaving me on red. So she left me on red. So I tried to message her again, and she still left me on red. And I was thinking, why is she not replying to me? I even tried to call her phone. It never went through. Now, she didn't block me, because if she had blocked me, I would have said I wasn't be able to try and call her. So I decided, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be silent as well. I'm going to leave it up to her to message me. And if she doesn't message me after a long period of time, I'm going to be suspicious on something's going on. Now, what I do remember within that period was on her Instagram, she was always reposting another boy's picture. And I'm just baffled, who is this boy? Like, who is he? Where is he from? How do you know this person? Why are you posting his pictures and not mine? So through that whole period, I didn't talk to her. I didn't even try to message her. Like I said, I left it up to her to try and message me. It didn't. Then something must be going on. So this was from November. So you have December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 8 months. Didn't talk to her for 8 months. Now, in July, I came to Nigeria for the summer holidays, as usual. And then I'm just outside our lane where we were staying. I was talking to a couple of people near one corner shop. Now, Jamila's older brother, one person I know, he has a problem with himself. He has a problem because he smokes a lot. And you might be thinking, smoking is a problem. Well, he's addicted to it. He's just addicted to smoking. But anyway,
He came and told me that I should come and see Jamila. I'm just thinking, why though? Why should I go and see her? And he was saying, oh, she's been talking about you, she's been thinking about you. I'm like, yo, it doesn't make sense though. I haven't talked to her for 8 months and she's saying that she's been thinking about me. How did that make sense? And he's like, yo, bro, trust me. Come to our house and you will see how much she's been thinking about you. So I'm like, okay. So I followed him. We went all the way to their house. And then when I come in, I see her in front of the house. And then she's like, oh my God, Usman, is that you? I'm like, yeah. Surprised how you're still thinking about me even though you haven't talked to me for 8 months. What's up with that? And then she was like, oh my God, I wish I let you know. But her phone wasn't working and she had to reserve to a smaller phone, a smaller Nokia phone. And then she showed me the phone. I saw it. I was like, okay, fair enough. But before, I saw you were posting another boy's picture on your Instagram. Before that happened, what's up? I showed her the picture on my phone, and then she's like, "Ah, come on, you're being silly. That's our cousin. Let's call that cousin Mr. X. Yeah, Mr. X. He's going to go to university, and he was going somewhere a bit far from home. So that's why she was like, good luck and all that sorts. And I'm just like, okay, I think that's okay. That's fair. And all that suspicion and thinking of why I thought about it was there. It all left my head. And what happened while I was there? She took her mom's phone and she started taking pictures of us. So she was saying that, oh, I took these pictures of us. How do we look? I said, oh, we look alright. We look good. And then she's like, I'll find. Well, she said once she gets a new phone, she will send those pictures to her phone from her mother's phone, and then she'll send them to me. I still don't have those pictures up to today. But one thing I will have to point out. Remember her younger sister I talked about earlier on in the story, the one we decided to call her Sadia. Well, in February 2018, she got married and moved with her husband to Lagos. And now, here's the thing that's a bit strange. Now, I remember saying that I didn't like her, she didn't like me, but within time, she improved in herself. She wasn't being like this self-centered person. She was more relaxed, more calm now, and she always has a positive attitude towards her. And then she got married. Secondly, she was only 17 when she got married. And at this time I think it was like 18, 19. Yeah, 19. Yeah, I was 19 when she got married. So it was odd. And she still didn't go to university. And I didn't know about this up until after the whole wedding happened. So this thing is going to have a link or a connection to this story. Why? I will get to that. August 2018. Now, I don't remember what date in the month, but I'm pretty sure it's within the ending of the month. Now, this was the official last time I saw her face to face. Not ended the relationship, but this was just the last time I've seen her. So by the time I'm recording it, it's almost 2 years. So it's like
1 year, 11 months since I last seen her. But at the moment in time, I didn't know it was going to be the last time. Because I thought I would still come to Nigeria in summer 2019. We'll link up again and we'll just enjoy ourselves. But this is how the last time went. So this was the day before we left Nigeria. So you know what? Since we're gonna go early morning, I'm gonna take the opportunity of that night just to go to their house and just see the whole family and to tell them that I'll be going. So I came in. They were all in the living room. Their dad wasn't there, obviously. And I saw her mother, saw the rest of the family. So we just having like just a normal conversation about some stuff. And then I told them, this is my last night here. I'm gonna be going tomorrow. So they were like, oh, it's a shame. Which I said a bit longer, but they understood, school was about to return soon. So their family were telling me, safe journey, hope we get home safely, hope the journey goes well. And if I get home, I just let them know, I made it home. So I was talking to Jamila. I said, I know I'm going, but I brought her a little something. So I gave her a packet of Snickers of 4 bars. Now, you don't wait in Katsina, you can't get them in Katsina. You have to be like in Abuja or Lagos, probably Kaduna even, just to get that kind of chocolate. So I gave it to her and she said thank you. She said she also had something for me. Which was just like some Nigerian biscuits. So I told her, I can guarantee you we will not get that in Ireland. So I would enjoy every one of them, and I'll keep the wrapper just to remember. Even though it might feel like, oh, you're keeping rubbish with you, but hey, I never got much from her. So anything I did get from her, I appreciate it fully. So as I told her family good night, she wanted to follow me toward their gate. So as we walked onto like the gate, we were just there talking for the next 20 minutes, talking about pretty much everything from school to life to the friends and personal stuff too. So like I told her, these things that happened between us the last few months. I felt very iffy about it, and I just wish that we can become better from this point on. And she fully agreed with what I said. She wished for the same, and I reminded her just like, hey, send me those pictures when she gets her new phone. She said that she will. And the moment we said goodbye, and I walked, that was the very last time I saw her. Late 2018. Now I could say this is between September to December of 2018, but I'm just gonna say it's between October and December. Now, this is where I started to say, what is she doing? Now, we were texting and she told me after she did her diploma in FCE in Katsina, she said that now she's about to go to university. Now, first off, she tells me she's going to ABU Zaria, which is one of the best universities in Nigeria. So I told her, yo, all the best. So few days forward, or probably weeks, I tried to call her, just to try to get an update from her, see, how she settling down in a new place, is she doing well? So I'm hearing noises like, oh hey, sorry, I'm a bit busy. She's getting to class right now, but when she's done, she'll call me later. I said, "No, okay, fine." So move a bit more forward. She tells me she's in Abuja now. I'm thinking, what do you do? What is she doing in Abuja? And she tells me, oh, she's going to go to a university in Abuja. Now, she told me the name of it. I don't remember what it was. Right. She told me she was going to the University of Abuja there. So I was like, oh, well, that's a bit of a surprise. I thought you were in classes in ABU Zaria. Well, she was like, no, actually, she was going to Abuja. She was like, what? You don't think my dad can afford for me to go to University of Abuja? I said, no, I didn't say that. I'm just surprised that you're going to University of Abuja. And she's saying, oh, well, it is what it is. And also, she's going to be staying in her sister's house while she's going to university there. I said, okay, then. That's no problem. And that's when it started getting weird. Because one moment she told me she's going to class in ABU Zaria. Now she's going to University of Abuja. It didn't make sense to me. But then again, I wouldn't have known at the time. It's only after I think back at it. That's when I start to clock. Nah, this must be odd. But now, within this period, we're talking even less than we used to. We don't even talk that much. At least it's better than the period and earlier on, but we're not talking that much. If I send her a message today, she won't see it until 2 days later. And now, but right now, I always see on her Instagram that she is flirting with other dudes. I'm saying to myself, she's really doing this again. Now, I say she's doing this again because there was that one dude, and then she tried to tell me that it was her cousin. Now, this is just completely different dudes that I've never seen in my life. And when I checked their profiles, no one else but her knows them. So, at that point, it seemed like she was cheating on me because she's always in their comment section. She's liking their pictures and putting comments there. And whenever they tell her sweet names, she replies with the heart emojis, the smiling with the eyes, the hearts, the whole lot of it. So I went. No, actually, I didn't do anything about that. But I remember I met this content creator on Instagram. Now, let's call this content creator Salamatu. That's not her real name, but you know why. Now, Salamatu is from Kazina. And I saw her do Sadia's makeup. So then I said, hey, yo, nice work you did there. I was like, yo, thank you very much. And then I told her, that girl you did the makeup for, I'm her older sister's boyfriend. And then she was like, oh, you mean Jamila? I said, yeah, Jamila. And she was like, oh my God, Adila talked to me so much about you. She really loved you. I'm like, oh, sure about that? And she was like, yeah, of course. I was like, oh, cool. It's great to hear that she still tells people that she loves me and she's in a relationship with me. That was a good run. December 2018. Now, this is when it was coming to the end. It was coming to the end of our relationship. But at this time, I was still thinking to myself,
is she still serious about her relationship than she once was? Because right now, she was not the same person that she once was in 2014, 2016. Now, that period was when she was at her best, but now she was like acting different. Now she was acting like the way her younger sister used to act before she got married. So, this is what I did. I left things for a few more days. And I learned from somewhere that she wasn't going to Abuja to study. She was actually there for other reasons. What were those reasons? I'll get to that. But what happened was, as there are pictures that she posted of herself, I always reposted them. And you know on Instagram where you have like a story, where you post something on your story and you can save it onto a highlight. I made a highlight dedicated to her. I think there's like 20 pictures on the highlight. And then it went down to 12 because the pictures that she posted, she went and deleted them. And it continued to be trend up until it got to 8. Now the rest of those 8 that were on the highlight were just screenshots from her story I reposted on my story while I tagged her. And the other thing I did was all those things I've seen, those proof I've seen that I was given to by someone, which I will not name, but he told me this is what he's seen, the activities that she's been doing on Instagram. Like she's commenting on other guys' pictures, she's putting all these love signals on their posts and whatnot. So I went to check it was legit, and I realized it was legit. So what I did was I sent it all to her on the DMs, and I asked her, what's all this? Can you tell me what all this is? And remember, we don't even talk that much, so I didn't expect her to reply. But then instantly she replied. Because she knew what I sent her was some serious stuff. So then she tried to act all nice and silly and be like, hey, what's all this? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, really? You don't know what I'm talking about? So you weren't the one that you're doing all this? You weren't talking to other dudes? You weren't flirting with other dudes? So I told her, listen, back in 2017, people told me many things about you. Things that were the opposite that I thought about you. People said I shouldn't be with you because people are saying that I shouldn't be with you because you can't be trustworthy. You act like this, you do that. And I refused all of them. I refused to believe them. I didn't listen to them. I only fell for you because I trusted you. I believed in you. But not realized everything that people told me about you is actually true now. So you're not being true to me. You cheated on me. You're talking to other people behind my back. And then telling me you weren't talking to other people. And that's why I told her, you know what? I'm done with this. I was actually looking forward to like having a future with you, live happily ever after and all that stuff. And now I realized you're not worth it. Done. That was the final bit. And from that moment, we never talked again. Oh, and also, she did try to defend herself, and she said that I am BSing all these facts, and it was weak. It was a weak clapback. It was very weak clapback. It didn't do her any favors, and she knew she was losing. July 20th, 2019. Now, remember when I said
when I said this date earlier in the story, that we're going to come back to that, we come back to this again. Because before I talk about this day, let's just go back. Let's just go back a bit first to around February 2019. Now, she goes and announces that she's going to get married in July and telling people, save the date. Now, when I saw that, I didn't feel any emotions. I didn't care because I was through with her. I was actually doing better. I was doing better, way better for myself than she was doing at that moment in time. Now, July 20th was the date that she was going to get married. And back in 2015, she told me July 20th was her birthday. See how both of them come together? As if it was a foreshadowing. It was a foreshadowing that no one saw, probably except her dad, because she tried 3 times to marry her off. The first time was around 2016. There's a second time, and then the third time was the lucky charm. Now, what I've been hearing is that my friends in Katsina, I talk to my friends a lot. We live in the same estate as them. Now, with one of them, he was sending me the scoop. He was giving me the information. He was telling me things that was happening there. Because I didn't want to bother talking to anyone that was related to her. Now, he gave me all the scoop. It was like, okay, this is when the Vicky happened, this is when the weddings happened, and this is when she was about to go off. Now, she married a politician. Okay? She married a politician. And why did she marry a politician? Oh, not because the politician loves her. Not because he cares about her. And definitely not because he's the right fit for her. It was all for the money. Now, I'm pretty certain that someone sent her picture around to that man, and he thought for himself, oh, he's interested. But fact is, he is older than her dad. Yep, the man is older than Jamila's dad by a good amount of years. When do you ever see a marriage? Have you ever seen a marriage when the groom is older than the bride's dad? I mean, I've never seen it. And the other thing was, she wasn't his first, not second, or even the third. She was the number 4, the 4th wife. And I saw the pictures, yeah? I saw the pictures of the whole biki, the party, the wedding, and all that. I saw everything. And she puts on that fake smile. Now, I knew it was a fake smile because I know when she's happy, I know when she's not. Now, she did that for show. She did that to the people just to show that, oh yeah, she's feeling good about it. But I can tell, no. Now, when she was in Abuja, she wasn't going there just for school. She went to Abuja to meet her future husband with her father and some other people, just to see if there can be an agreement made. And I've been told that her parents got a good bag. I heard that they got a good bag for making the whole wedding happen. But then when I saw these same pictures coming from her friends saying, oh, congratulations, she's getting married, they're happy, I think I was more annoyed about them than I was annoyed about Jamila, because they're like white knights. They just follow everything that happens and think anything that happens to them is good. You might as well call them simps. Because, let me ask you people a question. Would you rather be married to the person you love and you care about and you want to spend the rest of your life with, or get married to someone that your parents want you to marry and the person doesn't really care about you. I know what I want, but let me know what you want. And one of those friends was the same girl that told me I should stop being around her. Now, if I don't remember what name I gave her, I'll leave it in the screen over here. She baffles me a lot. She is a hypocrite, an absolute hypocrite. You told me earlier on, back in 2017, I shouldn't be with her. Now she gets married to someone else, you tell her congratulations. Now, I see the correlation. The reason Sadia got married was because that her husband's wealthy. He got that bag. He's secured. Living in Lagos. Just like, I'll marry her off to a rich person and they're guaranteed they're going to get bag. But now I'm going to talk about the second time. Now, I'm not going to mention who told me this, but this is what I've been told. During 2018, these people, they came to the house and they gave a kind levy to Jamila's parents. Now, if you don't know what kind levy is, it's just like a bouquet of gifts that they give to a girl's parents to show that they are interested in marrying their daughter. Now, it's not like where Christians where a man would take a knee and bring out a ring and propose to her. That's the way of doing it where we were. Now, if you bring it in, it's either the parents say yes or they say no. But if you say no, there should be a legit reason why you say no. It's either because you don't want her to get married now, or you don't think they're the right person. Those are not the reasons they say. The only reason they said no to those people was because the kind lepe was not enough. Apparently, it wasn't enough. Hey, there's no amount to say how much is enough for kind lepe. It's either you bring it or you don't bring it. That's it. It doesn't matter the amount that was there. Those people turned around and left, got on their vehicle and left. Then they got a phone call back from Jamila's mother and saying that how could they bring kind lepe that's not enough and then just leave it in the house? So they had to come back, pick it up, and then they left. Second time getting her married off failed. And I'm still in Ireland at the time all this was happening. I didn't go to Nigeria in 2019. But I've seen all that happen. I just said, good riddance. If this is the path you want to go through, be my guest. It's your life, your choice. Go ahead. But I guarantee this is not the way you thought things were gonna go for you. And that was it. Now, time to give you the morals of this whole long story. But before I tell you these morals, I'm just gonna say, right now after that relationship, I feel like I'm doing better for myself. I feel better right now than those final moments of our relationship because we sank the ship lower than the Titanic while I was doing my best to keep it afloat. Thinking about it, I always felt like I tried to do more in the relationship than she did. I felt like I was doing 95 and she was barely doing 5. And I'm not devastated that she went and married another person. I knew that was going to happen. I'm just disappointed that the person I thought she was turned out to be the person that everyone was telling me that she was. That's the only thing that has me disappointed. That's the only thing. But time to tell these morals from this story. The first one is to be honest. Now, whatever you're doing in your life, if you're proud of it or you're not proud of it, you shouldn't hide it, or you shouldn't tell a different story from the actual story. Just be honest. If you're going through a problem and you're telling people you're fine, it's not going to help. Just be honest. Tell them how you feel. Tell them what's going on in your life. Because if you are honest, people will stick around and always help to make sure that you're doing okay. They won't leave you if you're honest. They'll only stop talking to you if you're not honest to them. The second one kind of relates to being honest, but tell the truth. Now, tell the truth. Now, if you are feeling iffy about a situation, say it. If you don't want to do something for the sake of not doing it, say it. Don't put on a mask of a smiling face while you have an angry face. Don't try and hide anything. Like, just be real with yourself. Just be 100. If you're feeling a certain way about something, say it. Just tell the truth. Don't need to lie about a story just to make it sound good. No matter how bad the story is, as long as it's true, that's all that matters. The third thing is to be loyal. Now, if you are in a relationship with someone and that person is in a relationship to be with you for who you are, and you love them as well, be loyal. Don't cheat on them. Don't go and link up with someone else while you're still in a relationship, because not only are you doing her bad, you're doing yourself bad. You're making it seem as if your partner isn't doing enough for you in the relationship. And if you commit fully to your partner and your partner fully commits to you, then the relationship will definitely work. The fourth thing is, love someone for the right reasons. Now, when it comes to love, you have to love the person for who they are, not for what they have or possibly what they do. Now, when I say for what they do, if the person is caring and he does everything to make sure that people he cares about are okay, that's a pass. Now, if you love someone just because they're rich, they have accessories, they have all these cars, these vehicles, these big houses, then when they lose on those properties, what is there for you to love them about? They don't have it. So love the person because of their heart and how they are, and if they're caring. The fifth one is own up to your mistakes. Now, people will make mistakes in life. No one is perfect. We all try to be perfect, but we will never be perfect. We are never that 100% perfect. Whatever we try to do, okay? If you do something wrong, just own up to it. Don't try to find any excuses to say, oh, you did this mistake because this happened, or that happened, or someone said this, or someone said that. No. Just own up to your mistake. Say, okay, I messed up. I made this mistake. It's my fault. I take the blame. I'm sorry. Forgive me. If you own up to your mistakes, people will forgive you. And if they don't forgive you, that's fine. Leave them alone. At least you know you've done the right thing. And the only thing you can do best is to move forward. And the final thing is appreciate what you have. Now, people always look at other people that have these stuff. While it is okay to look at that, oh, that seems nice, there's no point in being angry about something you don't have. Because with the things you have, there are people below you that wish they had the things you have. So if you have something, just say Alhamdulillah, thank God. Just be happy that you have this thing. Be happy you live in a house. Be happy you have water. Be happy you have something to eat. Because there are people that wish they have things that you have. So yeah, those are all the morals I'm going to tell you from the story that I've learned. Now, the question is, she has done a lot of wrong things in the relationship. My question, did I do some things wrong as well? Because when I look at it, I just feel like I've done everything right and done everything that I should do to make sure a relationship works. But if you think I've made any mistakes, hey, please let me know. Because I would love to see what you guys have to say and improve. That's why I always say the comment section can be good if they give you some good things to read about from the comment section as well. You can look at some people's feedback on how you can improve on certain things. Let me know your thoughts. By the way, thank you so much for 100 subscribers on the second channel, even though I had the channel for like almost 5 years. It's just glad to see I can finally get it to triple digits. Could we get it to 4 digits? Only time will tell. And if you are new around here, hit the subscribe button so that you'll be seeing future videos on the channel. Like this video, follow all my stuff, link in the description below. I will see you guys next time. Peace.